Jesus ignites to gain it.
And that's exactly what one has to do. Bless them. Will be blessed of God. I believe.
The Lord shows His reality.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Secure.
They took His garment. He hung there naked. And He hung there for me. And by my suffering, I understood a fraction of the suffering of Jesus. The Lord shows His reality.
I'm one of them.
Love so amazing, secure, so divine, and demands my life, my soul, my all.
Nice. All right, good morning, everybody. We're here today. We're continuing on our training of citizen response training. There's a lot of curriculum we're covering in these 3 days. It's not just, normally we take 3 days to unpack one area, okay? So 3 days of hand-to-hand, 3 days of the 3-gun system, which incorporates handgun, shotgun, and long gun, which long gun is a shotgun, but a rifle and a shotgun are the two different types of long gun. And the 3-blade system, which is the tomahawk, the short knife or the dagger, and the long knife or the camp knife. The short knife we also call the operator blade because that's what Daniel Winkler calls it, his version of the short knife. So, but keep in mind these blades, these weapon systems, these blades, they can all be generic as long as they're functioning the same way as what we're teaching. It's pretty much fine. Big difference between a shotgun and a long gun is that a shotgun is going to shoot a short range, okay? And that's probably the best home defense weapon. And you're talking about a handgun, and a long gun is going to shoot long range.
Oh, got it.
So, with the blades, you're talking the same kind of thing. You're talking about range of operation. Basically, you have the short dagger is the easiest to carry, and it's something that you can have access and affect people at a short distance. The long camp knife, you can fight off a little bit bigger force. And that's something that you would have more in a combat situation. You wouldn't just have a short knife, you'd have a long blade as well. And then the final one is the tomahawk, which we talked about the other day as well. So today we're going to do some different stuff. We're going to work with, first of all, we got the vehicle set up here. We're going to do some basic self-defense stuff from the vehicle, okay? Again, this could apply to either armed or unarmed. So this can apply to you either if you're an officer. One of the things that's happening a lot in New York State, we have bad guys coming up to cops on their lunch break and pulling the trigger on police officers, okay? So it's not just the citizens that need this type of training, but you also have citizens that get robbed a lot of times in big city areas, all right? What happens at a stoplight, you pull to a stoplight, you're waiting for the light to turn green, guys are running up on you, pulling weapons on you, getting you out of your car and taking your vehicle. So, or even worse, abducting people. So you can replace a vehicle. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. First thing to know about the vehicle is this in itself is a big piece of steel. So this in itself can become a weapon of opportunity. So if you're in a situation where, let's say so-and-so's in the car, the three of us are the bad guys, come on in here really. And we start doing this. This is what's gonna probably happen. One guy's gonna come here, guys are gonna kind of surround, you know, get to different door places, you know what I'm saying? So you might be talking to this guy where the second guy's getting in the car, the third guy's getting in the car behind you, there's a lot going on. So this is a major problem. So the last thing, good, break. So the last thing I want you guys to consider is I'm going to go into my Krav Maga defenses before you try to get away, okay? I had one of my students used to always say, I'll hit you with my car. that is something that can happen, okay?
Yes,
you got 10 dudes swarming on you, you just hit the gas and go. I had that happen with my former wife. She basically, when my son, who was part of the training yesterday, was like this big in a little car seat in the back seat. We were in Schenectady, and I wasn't there at the time. It was just her and him. And she pulled up to a stoplight on Knott Terrace and Union. Some dude tried to get in the passenger seat. She doesn't know any martial arts training. She doesn't never been interested in it. She just put the gas on and went. And guess what? So my son is 20 now today because of it. You know, and she's still alive. So these are all important things. So this is a weapon in itself. So you need to start thinking in that mindset, okay? If I have my cup of coffee in here,
Yes.
whoosh,
Yes.
that's a weapon,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Another thing that can happen if he's got a weapon and he sticks his weapon inside the vehicle, whack, that is a weapon, okay? So using this frame as a weapon. Another thing we can do, the gun comes in. I've seen this. I really like this. He's pointing it at me, right? Is when I get out of the line of fire, to just stick it like straight forward and gas. And you just start driving with the weapon like that. And dude is going to have to either let go or the gun is going to come out. Yeah.
Necessary doesn't have to be from the front window.
Go ahead.
It can come from the back.
Right. So this is another thing. If you're in a urban population, you don't want to be rolling necessarily with all your windows down.
Right. And
your doors unlocked. See how he's got this guy coming through the back.
Right.
All right. From this situation,
just pull.
The primary thing we're going to do, again, I could pull and gas, you know, or just take the gun. Instead of trying to pull his arm, I just really want the gun. This is what I want. I want to take this. This is the primary danger. Okay, let me just jump out one more second, and then we'll start doing some stuff. So, gun here, gun here, gun here. It might not be a gun. It might be a knife, okay? Yo, man, get out of the car, get out of the car. And what happens, a lot of people who have no training, their windows are up, their doors are locked. Guy pulls a knife, what do? They stop, they're like, oh my gosh, it's got a knife. And they forget the fact that the vehicle is the safest place that you can be right now. Yeah. So these are all important things to consider before we start talking about, here's one defense, here's another defense. So first thing we're gonna deal with is from the driver's side. All right, so we're back. And now we're gonna talk about, again, a little bit about weapons of opportunity. I guarantee you this is a weapon of opportunity that most people are driving down the street with in the morning, okay? Or even late at night, you might have a drink in the car. It doesn't matter if it's hot or not. All it matters is liquid. All it matters is when you throw something at somebody, you're going to disrupt their thought process. You're going to confuse them. You're going to basically give them enough mental stimulus to get them thinking, which buys you a second or two, that you can get away. So when the vehicle's like this, okay, I have the windows down now, but again, if I was rolling through the city or any dangerous area where you don't know where you are, this is where you'd want to, it doesn't just need to be the city, but you know, anywhere where you don't know where you are, you need your hands inside the vehicle, your windows should be up, your doors should be locked, there's no reason. This way it makes you a little bit more protected, okay? Also, another thing to consider, let's say you're involved there's a shooting that happens while you're in your vehicle. The fact that you have metal wrapped all around you gives you some kind of protection. You get down to where the metal is. You know, if you have to drive somewhere, you try to get below the windows, and this way you're in a driving, armored, protective thing. So,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
Can you tell me where this is, please?
Exactly. See what he's doing? Right. He's giving a distraction. Yeah. He brought in a flyer or something, or he wants to talk to me. I don't like to let people close to me for that reason. Now he's got a gun to me. First principle of gun defenses, okay? Whatever happens is we want to get the line of fire. As soon as I move, I want the line of fire off me. So in this situation, he's pointing it kind of like in my neck, all right? But I have the ability to turn a little bit, okay? Now look, I might still get shot right here, okay? I'm going to do the best thing I can, okay? Which is pull this arm in. Because what this does about 4 different things. One, it pulls the line of fire off me, okay? I'm trying to basically, just so you see what I'm doing, I'm kind of scooping this up underneath, and I'm pulling this down here. So I'm going, okay, man, oh, you know, and I'm going to do this. Now, as I'm doing this in slow motion, I'm sliding my body back and out of the way, pulling this forward. Look where his head is. Smash. I get smashing his head on the wall, okay? You might or might not be able to see that from the camera angle. All right, from here, he has his, just put your finger on the trigger for a second. If he's a real bad guy, his finger's in the trigger. So he's got a good grip on it. You have a less good grip. But what you're going to do is try to pull to where he can't. Now look at, his arm doesn't extend that far. Now from there, again, you're driving. You know, what's happening to his arm? This thing, this part of this car, just went bang, smashed his arm. It probably broke his arm. And it's coming out of the vehicle, I guarantee you. Try to do anything more than that is ridiculous. So let's try that. We're all going to try that real quick. No matter where the gun or the weapon comes in, okay, let's just talk about it being a gun for right now. You need to get your body out of the line of fire, and you're going to use the car as a backup, as an assistant person. Guy puts a gun, yo man, get out the car.
No problem. No problem.
Get
no
out
problem.
the car.
Boom.
Bang. Good. So you see that? Let's see what he did. Go ahead, explain what you just did.
Just putting distance between you and the bad person. Could be male, could be female. Again, we're in New York State. We can carry a firearm. Why carry and not use it in situations where it's your life? Could be your wife, could be your daughter, could be your kids in the back, like he explained about his ex-wife and his son. You never know when it can happen. Again, if you're in a vehicle, seatbelt, front. Don't put it in the back. The seatbelt's going to be in the way by you doing this. It's not going to do anything just in case you got to pull it out. I personally carry up front. And depending where I'm at, it's not even in the holster. I'm pointing it at the window. So you never know. I'd rather buy a window than I can't buy another life. So again, just the scenarios we're going through, because anything can happen. I like carrying up front because the seatbelt's going to be in the way when you pull out. In some locations, you can buy magnets and store it somewhere in the vehicle.
Excellent.
You know, I seen that you could put it up here. I seen where you could put it on the side. I seen you could put it underneath the dashboard. But again, you got to move. Shots come in, you're not going to get your firearm. That's why I keep it here. And God forbid, bring the gun in. If he's too close and I'm stuck here, I go, okay, no problem, no problem. Okay, no problem, no problem. Back up, give you distance.
That's beautiful.
See what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
And I can still drive.
Yep.
I mean, I might hit somebody, but that's why I got Geico.
Hopefully you hit his buddy that's standing in the front.
Yeah, the guy coming around the
Because
other
a
side.
lot of times that'll happen too. They'll have their one guy stand in the front because they're going to assume that you're not going to ever hit somebody.
Correct.
But that's an excellent point. You have to make sure if your weapon is not accessible. I mean, for example, look at, I don't know if you can see this, but I carry my handgun in here. Guess what it takes me to do? I have to unzip it first and then draw it. From a seated position, that becomes difficult. So if you're in a situation where you know that you're going to have to deploy your weapon, or you may have to, or for example with Demo, he works in an environment where he does a lot of sitting in a vehicle. So he needs to have his weapon accessible. It can't be tucked so far back and inaccessible that you're not going to be able to, 1 or 2 seconds is your life.
It's your key. And then with your body weight, the seatbelt, and then remember the seatbelt locks you in, so that anytime you move forward, it's going to lock.
Yep.
So it's not going to bring you forward.
Yep.
So that's why I go back. I go back because the seatbelt's still going to be here. I don't care about the seatbelt at this point. I just want to deploy so I can take care of the threat.
That's why I hate seatbelts, by the way. But
welcome to New York State.
You should wear your seatbelt.
I mean, and no matter what, left side, right side, it'd be the same thing. Instead of pointing out this way, you can have a distraction here and they're trying to open that door.
Yep.
Just come up. That's it.
Yep.
Now, if you have a loved one, grab out the way.
We're not breaking the rules.
I don't want to break Michael's car neither.
Not everybody on your team is going to be part of the fight. Okay, that's a big thing to consider, is that in this scenario, he's not a martial arts grandmaster. He's just your loved one. Okay, he's your kid. He's your wife. Whatever. Your jail wife. So basically,
I'm gonna shoot him first before the bad guy.
basically, you can't expect this person to do anything proper, okay? They may be freaking out. They may be in your way. They may, they may mess things up for you. They may be trying to get out the car. And this is the thing, because you've never talked about this. We do fire, back when we were kids, all right? We used to do fire drills. We used to talk about a plan on how to get out your window. I don't even know if they do that still in the school, but I'll tell you, I remember they used to give stickers to everybody put in their windows so that the firemen know which window to go to.
Right.
Now those stickers are 30 years old, and the firemen be like, we don't pay attention to those anymore.
If they still stick into the window.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Continue.
you're good. It's okay. Again, guys, you just got to be aware of your surroundings. He may see something I didn't see, so now he becomes a primary. He'll tell me, duck. Okay. I'm not going to question. The minute hey, why you want me to duck? Bam!
That's what we do.
No questions. Just listen to your surroundings, especially your partner or whoever's in the vehicle. If he tells me to duck, I'm going to duck. Why? Because there's something going on this side.
Right.
Now, if I'm at a light, like Mark said, if I'm at a light or a stop sign or I'm waiting for somebody to come down from an apartment.
All right, so here I am, bad guy.
So you're the bad guy. You tell him to get out. See,
Come on, man, get out, get out.
He's paying attention to
Get
him.
out, get out.
Oh, wow, what's going on?
Get
What's
out,
going on?
get out. Bang. Beautiful.
Look at that.
Let's try from this angle, too. Try from this angle. Same thing.
See, on that situation, see me that he's coming from his right side, which is going to be left side of the vehicle. I'm going to bring him forward. Again, good. Tell him to get out.
Yo, get out the car.
Okay.
Get down!
Boom, boom, boom. Good. Excellent. All right, I want to talk about another thing. George, let me jump in there real quick.
Yep.
We're giving you scenario after scenario after scenario, but each one of these should be trained, okay? Each one of these you need to spend time. It's your class, or if you don't have a class, you're not a martial arts teacher, you don't teach this in a class, it's your family. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to practice. Just talk about it, okay? What would you do? What would you do if a stranger tried to take you away? What would you do if a fire started in the kitchen? These are things you have conversations with your little kids. You should have conversations with your family about stuff like this. All right? So here's another problem, okay? This is a big problem, okay? If he's over there on the other side, the bad guy's on the other side. Now, in the first two scenarios we just showed, one, the weapon came from this angle, and one, the weapon came from that angle, but really the bad guy's waving the weapon. So the good part about that is there's a moment in time that the gun is not pointed at anybody. That's really when you want to make your move, okay? The line of fire is not necessarily pointing at your loved one. If it is pointing at your loved one, all right, good point. Now I have other considerations to make, okay? Maybe the best move is just to drive fast, but here's the thing. Any sudden move,
Boom.
that's going to happen. So I might have to deal with this weapon if possible. Reaching across, okay, trying to take this, okay? And then maybe push the gas. Even if you, like you said about hitting somebody, even if you got to drive 5 feet, that's enough to change the environment a little bit to maybe get this weapon away from the bad guy. So
do what we do. We bring them straight to the police department, dragging all the way down.
Yep. So look, point that gun in again. It's pointed at him, okay? You're talking third-party stuff, okay? Where do we want to point this gun? If I turn it this way, I'm pointing away from him, but I'm also swiping myself with the gun too. So up if possible.
Correct.
That's where you try to, and then again, I can still work the pedals from where I am, okay? This is kind of a bad situation, but you need to, and here's the other thing. You don't need to rush. Okay, here, come to the other angle. So, again, point at him a little bit, right? So, it's pointed at him. This is a little bit easier because now, yes, I can maybe do this easier. I can just swipe this way, and that might be the best option. Or, again, boom. Now, here's another thing to consider. When you're dealing with third-party protection, there might not be a safe way to get your loved one out of the line of fire without putting you in the line of fire.
Correct.
So you need to, if you have to do that, you have to do that. But here's the thing. Just taking a bullet, as brave and noble as that sounds, jumping in front of a bullet for somebody else, if your job is to exfil or get your loved ones to safety, you just failed that objective. Because now you're bleeding and dying, and your loved one's stuck in the environment that you just left them in. So
and you're in the driver's seat. So
exactly, and you're in the driver's seat. So all these things got to be considered. Look at another thing I can do too. I pull him up here. Boom. All right. I'm jamming his whole arm and shoulder, and I'm pinning the gun to the roof, and now I'm driving. I still have some visibility. How do I take this gun? We talked about this yesterday. Put your finger in. This is one way, okay? That breaks the finger and slide right off the gun,
And
right?
that hurts.
It does hurt. Another way is here. Strip this way, okay? These are all ways. Look at, this is not pointing at him. This is just pointed
nor
up
you,
or out.
nor you.
Or me, yeah. So these are all good things. Let's,
You might be doing your thing over
Yep.
there. He might see it coming in.
yep,
You know, so even coming in, you just pin it
yep.
straight up.
And every situation is going to be different. Go ahead.
Be different.
If you're in the passenger seat, yes, this is a good point. Now if the defender is in the passenger seat, Sensei Long is the defender,
Get out.
go ahead.
Go straight up.
Shove that gun right to the thing.
Boom.
Boom. And now I'm driving. I'm driving.
And the key word is just go, go, go.
Yeah.
Without any questions. Later you find out why he said go, go, go.
Right, and he would be the one, so he's the one now in this situation who knows what's going on. He'd be pinning the gun and screaming. I might be I'm the loving wife or the child learning how to drive, you know what I mean, from dad. And you're telling me, go, go, go. You're giving me a command. Okay. And the scenario I was telling you about that happened years ago, almost 20 years, maybe 18 years ago. Guy jumps in the passenger vehicle. He points a gun to somebody's head. He points a gun to your side, okay? For the same thing that we went over yesterday with gun to the head, gun to the side, these are the same defenses.
Same defenses.
So when a gun is to your head, okay? When a gun is to your head, you want to go either this way or this way. This way or this way. You're pulling their arm to clear the line of fire as much as possible. All right, so you can refer to those videos too to how to do that, but we'll cover it a little bit in here too. Same thing, gun to your side. Either, if your hand is on this side of the gun, you pin it to the vehicle and attack. If your hand is on this side, the guy points the gun here, you're clearing this way, okay? And you're trying to secure the weapon. All right. So, alarm is a good thing. We'll talk about that in a minute. But setting your alarm off.
People start looking.
Yeah. If you're on your way to your car and you see something going on that may be suspicious, you could set your alarm off on the way to the car, and if this person does mean harm, he'll probably stay away.
And
Okay.
no keys, got panic buttons.
Yep. We talked about, let me just say this real quick too. We talked about this the other day, about what my brother did, about having a keychain as a weapon, okay? Sensei Long, myself, we carry our keys on a lanyard. The main reason I do is because I lose my shit all the time. But the truth of the matter is, if somebody pulled a knife on me and if I have my keys, this is something I could use and take out the bad guy, keep him away from me. That's much better than trying to grab a knife arm, okay? So, he's got a gun. In this scenario, your gun is not accessible, Demo, which is, well, it's hard for Demo to understand because his gun is always accessible. So don't
Two
rob
at that, not one.
Don't rob his ass. All right, so pointed at, let's start with his head. So what you're gonna do in this scenario is you're gonna reach up, grab the gun. That's one way you could do it. Yep.
That's enough.
He said that's enough.
That's enough.
Also try this. Try pulling the gun like we did yesterday. So you pull the gun one direction. So point the gun at him. Yep. Let me do this. Let me switch it out. Here, Demo, come out here. I want you to hold the camera real quick.
Hey,
Let me show you. Let me just.
You want me to hold the camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, first one, gun pointed at the head, right? Put it right up to my head, right? So if it's here, if it's back, then yeah, I'm gonna pin it to him, okay? Or just try to go for the gun. But if he's actually just like you're getting into the car and you're pointing this gun at my head, okay? I'm either gonna go this way or this way, okay? Now, we talked about seatbelts already. He mentioned about turning. This makes it difficult for me. The bad guy probably won't be fully in the car, okay? The bad guy might just have a knee on the front seat and be sticking the gun across the thing, or he might be in the car, either way. But if it's at your head, I'm gonna pass and wrap, and I'm trying to get this way. Boom, hit, brake and take, all right? And now, I'm getting him out of my vehicle. If he's not getting out of the vehicle, I'm driving. Everything I can do. I've heard of situations where
They take off with the bad guy.
they've crashed, a good guy has crashed, taken off with a bad guy, and a good guy actually crashed into a cop car that was parked on the side of the road because they didn't have any other idea how to get this guy out of here. You know. And again, if you got your seatbelt on The bad guy doesn't have his seatbelt on, and you crash into something like this telephone pole up there. Guess what? You just got rid of the bad guy. He went out through the front windshield.
You made it a hood ornament.
That's right. If it's towards your side, okay. If my hand is this way, I'm pinning and hitting, and then I'm gonna try to take this gun. If it's this way, where your hand is underneath, let's say I'm here, all right. I'm going to try to go this way. It's all just kind of common sense stuff. It's all like, because what I like to say with this gun is like a laser beam, okay? You want this laser beam off you. No matter where it's pointed, there's a laser beam going out into infinity. So you want to get it off you as fast as possible. All right. Let's talk about another thing. So again, we talked about guy jumps in your vehicle, he's pointing at your head, he's pointing at your side, okay? These are the first two things, right? You may get lucky, and the bad guy doesn't necessarily know. He feels that just having this is dangerous to you enough, and it's going to intimidate you enough. You, as the good guy and the defender, the one who's been practicing, know that the only way this thing can hurt you is if it's pointed at you. All right, yeah, he can smash you with it, but what I'm saying is, this is the only thing you're mostly concerned about. So if he's yelling at you and this gun is not pointed at you, that's your time to go into action. Well, let me just switch positions. Jump out here. I could be back here, okay? I could jump. If I'm a smart bad guy, I won't sit there because it's easier to defend against me there. It's harder here. I could jump in this seat where it's very hard to take my weapon, and I'm pointing the gun from here. He can't do much from here, okay? There's not a whole lot you can do from here because you can't reach this weapon. If you're, let's say you're an Uber driver or a taxi driver, you can't do a whole lot if you can't touch the gun with your hands, you can't defend really against it. You just got to use your brains and wait for the opportunity to be right for you to deal with that, okay? You got to think on your feet. If he sticks the gun in your face, okay, because Uber drivers, or you know what I mean, you're just somebody jumped in the back seat, you don't have a shield here. Now you can deal with it. The same as in the front. You pull the gun this way and you pull your head the other way. And then from there, two hands, boom, clear the gun and get him out of your car. And hit him. If you got to hit him to get him out of your car, that's a good thing. All right? So, cool. So, we're here again. It's citizen response training. The reason I call this citizen response training is because I believe that everybody needs to be trained. All right? This is something just like knowing how to get out of your house if it was on fire, or knowing how to give CPR and first aid to somebody who's choking on their food. I think everybody needs to know this in America, all right? The problem is, even if half the people respond to my message, we've become a much safer nation. The problem is right now, 1% of America is military and law enforcement, okay? So that means 99% of the people are not trained, okay, how to respond to this stuff. You could throw martial arts in there, maybe that's another 1%, all right? I don't even think it's that high, okay? 4% of people in a community train martial arts on average, and of that 4%, 75% of those are children. So what we're talking about is stuff that we're asking adults to pay attention to, okay? I don't care whether your 12-year-old knows how to stop a bad guy from the driver's seat of a car because he's not driving yet. So we're going to talk about your environment. One of the things they call this in Krav Maga is situational awareness. This is super important, okay? This is before the fight stuff to pay attention to. If you wait till somebody's swinging at you or pulling a weapon on you, you already are lost. You've already lost the fight. Yeah.
Too late.
So we talked about this before. Sensei Long's talked about 36-inch space, but that can even that extends beyond that range when you're talking about just your environment in general, like driving into a bad neighborhood. You now are paying attention to what's going on the street. Okay. And with that, I'm gonna pass it off to Demo.
All right, guys. Again, a lot of us, we go to shopping malls, we go to supermarkets. I mean, we all got to eat, we all got to buy water. Like Mark was saying, you got to use your environment. Remember, you're in a parking lot in a supermarket. Your best friend's is the window. You use the reflections to see behind you because we don't have eyes behind our backs. Use the glass, reflection, to see who's coming up. Jay, if you come up, I might be opening here. I can see him coming. See what I'm saying? You're right here. Oh, from the rear. You bring it through the front? I mean the back, sorry. And again, all of us that live in New York, except for Mark, have a 4x4. Now you come in with your groceries. You know, this is your groceries. Now, yeah, the door's up. We have no glass. So now you just got to use instincts. I see James coming. Now, come close. If he comes close, and I got to just grab him and throw him in my left. Again, you got your groceries from the supermarket. Now, as you can see, the door's up. You have no mirror, no glass to look behind you. You just got to use your instincts in your area. I see him coming. Now, can I help you? Try to grab him. Throw him in the car. Who cares? I have the key. Just go.
Good.
Let me make the other one even.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's go to the driver's side.
Yeah, your boy.
I'll give you a massage later.
Massage with every free lesson.
Massage with every free lesson. Again, using your mirrors. The reflection, these are your best friends. That's why he says in the summertime, a lot of people bring the windows down just because of the ventilation of the car. Now, you just lost 50% of your vision behind you because of the reflection in the glass. Usually they come down, I mean, you're not going to bend down and look. And a lot of people, what they do is, they'll come from the supermarket, open the door, leave this one open, grab their bags. Now look where you're at. Can't see behind you. Driver's side door is open. Where's the keys? On the driver's seat.
Yeah.
No. What you do? And you might have little kids. What's the first thing you do? Leave them in the shopping cart and put the groceries in. Now a lot of moms or dads, I mean, it's 2018, put the baby in the car seat, leave the door open so you can actually see the child, and then do their thing in the front and go to the back. Open the back, they'll come, groceries. By the time you're doing this, it only takes 2 seconds. Your kid's gone. Okay? Now, again, like I said before, you leave the key in the driver's side. You have everything open because you're trying to get your things together. Kid's there, you come to the back. Again, the child is in the seat. Car's gone. I don't care about the car. Child's worth $1 million.
Yeah.
So my suggestion, and what I'm trying to get at, leave everything closed until you're ready to take off. You open the vehicle, keys in the pocket. Because remember, now with the key fobs and stuff like that, you actually got to be in the car in order for it to turn on. Key fob in the front, in the pocket, or in your purse. Grab the groceries, put the kid in there. Who cares at this point because they can't take the car? Keys in your pocket. A lot of key fobs nowadays, you got to be in the vehicle to leave. Boom, boom, boom. Let him jump in the driver's seat. When he sees the keys out there, grab the kid, just go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's perfect. I mean, you need to start thinking of yourself as citizen response training. What that means is we want you to respond, okay? Not just to your situation. It means, like, consider yourself like neighborhood watch for the entire, wherever you are.
U.S., baby.
Yeah, for the entire U.S. You figure wherever you are, and wherever you can see, that's what we call your AOR, your area of operation. All right, that's or in law enforcement, we call it jurisdiction. Your jurisdiction as a citizen is wherever you have.
We have no jurisdiction.
If you see something happening, then you say something.
Yeah.
You make a phone call. You can make a noise. You see somebody getting carjacked. We just talked about setting the alarm off. You could set your own car alarm off, and that's going to bring attention to your situation. You can scream for help. You can get involved to the level of your training. Okay, this is why we say you should be training, because the more training you have, the more you'll be able to get involved in. Not saying that we want everybody running into gunfights.